When Johnny Manziel first stepped up under center for Texas A&M in the fall of 2012, expectations were understandably measured. A freshman quarterback going up against the gauntlet of college football's Southeastern Conference? Not exactly a recipe for success. But as the FBS soon discovered, Johnny Football was built different. His inexperience notwithstanding, Manziel turned in one of the most exceptional seasons in college football history. A season that helped cement his legendary status in college football and made his eventual fall from grace all the more painful to watch. As much as the legend of Johnny Football was a reflection of his considerable ability and nose for controversy, Manziel's incredible and often regrettable story was also seemingly fueled by the hand of fate. When he arrived at Texas A&M in 2011, after all, the Aggies were a middling Big 12 program more than a decade removed from their last conference title, and even farther removed from being a serious contender for a national championship. The Longhorns over in Austin were Texas's powerhouse, and the Aggies were, well, the Aggies. However, in 2012, the Aggies bolstered their profile in a major way when they moved from the Big 12 to the vaunted Southeastern Conference, which is renowned for producing national champs and future NFLers. The move earned plenty of ridicule across the NCAA, with pundits popping up left and right to anoint the Aggies the new doormat of the SEC, but folks in College Station delighted over their school's newfound prominence. And just as the Aggies were stepping into this new era of national visibility, Johnny Manziel was about to get handed the reins. However, as that fateful 2012 season dawned, nobody could have anticipated what was to come. Manziel was a four-star recruit coming out of high school, an electrifying, if undersized, dual-threat quarterback who'd also received scholarship offers from Baylor and Oregon, but he'd redshirted in 2011 as soon-to-be first-round NFL draft pick Ryan Tannehill finished out his college career as the Aggies starter. And there was no guarantee that Manziel would succeed Tannehill as QB1. Moreover, his career at Texas A&M was threatened before he took his first snap. In the summer of 2012, Manziel was arrested following a fight outside a College Station bar, an incident that initially earned him a season-long suspension from the school and prompted Manziel to explore a transfer. However, his suspension was eventually rescinded on appeal with the help of newly hired head coach Kevin Sumlin, and Manziel promptly got his nascent career back on track. That summer, with the Aggies' QB1 job up for grabs following Tannehill's graduation to the NFL, Manziel beat out Jamel Showers for the starting job. And he wasted little time introducing himself to the college football world. In just his second start for the Aggies, Manziel authored a performance for the ages, throwing for 4 touchdowns and rushing for 2 more in a 48-3 demolition of SMU. Along the way, he racked up 418 total yards in a remarkable all-around effort. As A&M teammate Patrick Lewis put it after the game, I guess that's why they named him Johnny Football. That nickname, incidentally, was given to Manziel during his high school days, but in the days and weeks that followed his breakout performance against SMU, Johnny Football became a moniker known throughout the football world. The following Saturday, in front of nearly 87,000 fans at Kyle Field, Manziel threw for 3 touchdowns and ran in another 2 in a 70-14 shellacking of South Carolina State. A week later, Manziel accounted for 4 TDs in a beatdown of Arkansas, and he just didn't stop. By the end of October, the Aggies were 6-2, had cracked the AP Top 25, and were averaging almost 46 points per game. In their first taste of life in the SEC, Texas A&M was proving all of the skeptics wrong, and it was largely thanks to Johnny Football, the incandescent freshman who couldn't be contained on the field and who was earning a reputation for a hard-partying lifestyle off of it, a reputation that was cemented that Halloween. Memorably, just days ahead of a critical road game against 17th-ranked Mississippi State, Manziel, decked out in a Scooby-Doo costume, was photographed getting into the holiday spirit around College Station. And his Halloween exploits quickly went viral. Still, despite showing up decidedly unwell to practice the following day, Manziel was no worse for the wear on game day. That Saturday, Manziel threw for over 300 yards on remarkable efficiency and ran in a pair of touchdowns in a commanding win over the Bulldogs. However, it was what he did the following Saturday that catapulted Manziel into a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate and cemented Johnny Football's legendary status. In the Aggies' first ever trip to Tuscaloosa against the reigning national champions and then undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide, Texas A&M pulled off a stunning upset of the nation's top-ranked team. Led by a sensational Manziel, who threw for 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and wreaked havoc with his legs, the Aggies took a 20-0 lead in the first and never looked back, with Johnny Football delivering a signature moment midway through the opening quarter.
Snap from Patrick Lewis. 4-man Alabama rush. Got him. No, they didn't. Oh, my gracious.
Yep.
How about that?
Can't teach that, can you? And you can't defend that.
With that, Manziel exploded into the biggest star in college football, and he wasn't finished yet. Following his indelible performance against Alabama, Manziel closed out his freshman year by racking up 10 more touchdowns, 6 passing, 4 rushing, over the Aggies' final 2 regular season games, both victories. In the end, Texas A&M fell shy of a BCS national championship berth, but they did land a validating matchup against 12th-ranked Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl, where another 4-touchdown effort for Manziel propelled the Aggies to a 41-13 victory. His performance against the Sooners helped the Aggies secure their highest end-of-season AP ranking since 1956 and put a bow on the most impressive season by a freshman quarterback in NCAA history. All told, Manziel threw for more than 3,700 yards and 26 touchdowns and ran for another 1,410 yards and 21 touchdowns, racking up countless records along the way. Manziel, for instance, broke the SEC record for yards of total offense and became the first player in NCAA history to surpass 5,000 total yards and 1,000 rushing yards in the same season. For his efforts, Manziel received virtually every individual award under the sun and notably became the first freshman ever to take home the Heisman Trophy, receiving 153 more first-place votes than runner-up Manti Te'o. That moment, however, marked the unquestioned pinnacle of Manziel's career. From that point onward, Johnny Football began a slow, often embarrassing plummet from future NFL superstar to all-time bust. Manziel, in fact, found himself generating negative headlines even before his sophomore season began. That summer, Manziel was reportedly dismissed from his post at the Manning Passing Academy for missing practices and meetings, with many speculating that partying had been the cause. Then, with the 2013 season around the corner, Manziel received a half-game suspension from the NCAA for allegedly accepting payment for autographs. He only added fuel to that fire when he took the field for the second half of the Aggies' 2013 season opener against Rice and made his raking it in gesture after tossing a touchdown, a move that came to be his signature. The indiscretions mostly stopped during football season, though Manziel wasn't as mesmerizing as a sophomore as he had been as a freshman. Though he upped his passing yards and QB rating in 2013, Manziel wasn't nearly as dangerous with his legs, rushing for barely half as many yards as he had the year prior. Meanwhile, the Aggies fell short of their lofty preseason expectations, going 9-4 and finishing as the country's 18th ranked team after coming into the campaign at number 6. Incidentally, that season was a massive win financially for Texas A&M, which received nearly $750 million in donations in 2013 in the wake of Manziel's extraordinary freshman season. 2013, however, was Manziel's final year in College Station. Following his sophomore campaign, Manziel declared for the NFL Draft. And although his dynamic play managed to sway the Cleveland Browns to take him 22nd overall, the franchise would soon come to regret that selection.
With the 22nd pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Johnny Manziel, quarterback, Texas A&M.
And there you have it. Johnny Football is coming to the state of Ohio after all.
Shortly after the draft, the Browns reportedly grew concerned with Manziel's behavior. Team officials were aghast that Manziel hadn't followed through on pre-draft promises to scale back his partying, which at that point seemed like it was virtually non-stop. Ultimately, amid escalating concern, Manziel played sparingly as a rookie, lost the trust of his teammates, and was unimpressive when he did get on the field, completing just 18 of 35 pass attempts while throwing for no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. At season's end, Manziel entered a treatment facility. And although he publicly apologized and vowed to win back trust after checking out 10 weeks later, Manziel's tenure with the Browns lasted only 1 more year. After doing little to impress in 9 games for Cleveland in 2015, and following a slate of troubling off-field episodes, including a domestic violence incident, the Browns released Manziel in March of 2016. He wouldn't play another game in the NFL. Instead, after a harrowing period that included a suicide attempt, a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, and continued drug use, Manziel became a football journeyman, bouncing from the Canadian Football League to the Alliance of American Football to fan-controlled football. And today, more than a decade removed from his 2012 breakout with Texas A&M, Manziel's story is a powerful cautionary tale, a disquieting look at the dangers of fame and fortune. Those forces played a pivotal role in derailing what was seemingly poised to be a highly successful NFL career. But even though Manziel never blossomed into an NFL superstar, his historic 2012 campaign at Texas A&M ensured that the legend of Johnny Football will live on forever. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button.